Is it just me, or has Mindy had the most miraculous postpartum recovery ever? No, it can't be just me. I'm not the only mom that watches this show. Last week it struck me that Mindy seemed a bit peppy for having just given birth to Leo. She had on her regular clothes, she had on her heels, just nothing was bothering her. She was just on her way. It was unbelievable. No, really, it was completely unbelievable. I mean, last week she mentions her episiotomy stitches, but then runs around like nothing. I let it go. Okay, obviously I didn't let it go, but I gave him a pass because it's a comedy show. It's not supposed to be real. But then this week happened, and sorry. I love the show, but I can't help but feel like there is no mother writing for the show. I took my suspicions to the internet, and there are a couple of women writers. But I know Mindy isn't a mother, and I'm not sure about the other woman who is listed as a writer. So I don't know what they're basing their portrayal of Mindy as a mother on. Are they just writing what they think happens based on movies and books? But the lack of real experience is obvious, and when their demographic is a lot of women in their 20s and 30s with kids, it's hard for us not to notice. Anyway, rant over. In this episode, Mindy is going back in for a day at the office, and Danny is trying to convince her that she should just quit work and stay home with Leo. But she wants to go back to work, so she packs up Leo and they head off on the subway to go into the office. But Leo gets hungry, so she decides to breastfeed him right there in the subway. I think it's great that they tackled public breastfeeding, but it's kind of confusing because then later in the show when she's home, she's warming up a bottle. So does she only use bottles when she's at home and breastfeed when she's in public? There's a man on the subway and he is not amused that she's whipped out her boobs, and so he tells her to put them away. Put them away. And she does, and leaves. Not the most empowering moment. She's obviously very riled up by this man, and when she gets to the office, she just rants all about it. And I don't blame her. When she gets to the office, Morgan is insanely jealous of Leo, like he is her kid vying for attention. But even though Leo is there, Morgan is thrilled to have Mindy back in the office so she can help with the office work and at the fertility clinic, since he has mixed up some eggs. That seems like bad business. But then as they're chatting, she hears the voice of the man from the subway and finds out that he's the new doctor at Schulman & Associates. Everybody loves him at the office, but Mindy wants him gone, so she does some reconnaissance work with one of her patients that he delivered. Unfortunately, she loved him. Meanwhile, Danny is trying to come up with a perfect push present for Mindy, and what we find out though is there's an ulterior motive to him getting a gift. He wants Mindy to stay home with Leo. And now for my favorite one-liners. When Nurse Beverly meets the baby, she says, "Congratulations, he's very dark." And when Morgan is talking to Mindy about coming back to work, he says, "I thought you were going to wuss out and cut your hours like those moms who love their kids." Oh, right. And when Mindy discusses staying home, she says, "Well, what about all the stay-at-home moms I cyberbully on Pinterest?" The episode ends with Mindy getting in a big fight with the new doctor and then spraying his face with breast milk. It doesn't go well, and she says she quits. But by the time she gets home, she changes her mind, but Danny comes home so happy and excited that she says nothing. I think the issue with this episode is that they're trying to walk a line and show both sides of an argument, and it's just hard to do. What I like about Mindy Project is that it's not politically correct. They say crazy stuff and you laugh. Here's hoping next week they find their pacing.